Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam here from D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing you another adventure table idea. And this is the Astral Cult of Cthulhu. The Astral Cult of Cthulhu. And the idea behind this is simple enough. There's a cult to Cthulhu and the old gods that's out hiding out in the astral planes where they're performing their wicked and depraved rites in order to bring Cthulhu back and bring the old ones back into domination over the primaterial plane and the rest of the universe. And so there's this place of just decrepit decay and alien logic and twisted toxic type buildings and creatures that don't seem to have any particular natural form to them. They're all twisted and misshapen, and basically the worst parts of the human nightmare and subconscious just all mixed together in a bubbling, breathing mass of just biotoxicity. And in this area, they just do things that are utterly profane and against the gods that are in charge or in place now. Everything that they do is just horrific and toxic in nature. And so when the players come here, there's all kinds of cultists and whatnot, but they're completely morphed. They're only the cultists who have spent a significant amount of time in the cult, and they've been basically transformed into near illithid-like looking creatures in many ways, with tentacles and a cephaloid type look to them. So that's the concept behind it. As far as the buildings and stuff are concerned, there's all these like obelisks and strange, not buildings, but just strange obelisk and altar type things that are built that you can't really tell what the purpose to them is, because it's just so bizarre from a human logic standpoint. This is probably the closest thing to anything. This and the gateway portal, which is next to it, which the great fear is that could be a portal into the primaterial plane to let loose these creatures. So the heroes would have to go through, and each and every one of them would have different kinds of resistances, different types of attacks to them. Some would have noxious poison gases. Some of them would be able to paralyze at a touch. Others can inflict nightmares and stuff just by looking at the players and them failing a saving throw. Others, when they get hit, may actually start to begin to transform, and one of their arms or legs or whatever might turn into a tentacle-like appendage as it begins morphing them into one of the creatures that representative of what they are. And little by little, bit by bit, they'd have to go through and take out each particular one. Because of the nature of the creatures, they're not really capable of working together as far as like an army or a discipline to that thing. So they tend to be in each their own. If a creature is not strong enough to defend itself against invaders, then it is not worthy of the name of Cthulhu, and it is meant to wither and die anyways. So the heroes would be able to take these guys on basically island by island, even though they're in sight, and the other creatures would basically watch with interest. But though they wouldn't actively participate, they're highly intelligent, and so they may adapt whatever tactics they're about to use based on what they've seen that the players do. So while they're not going to actively engage the heroes themselves against different islands as they're being assaulted, they are going to recon that knowledge. They're all going to gather that information and figure out how exactly the players are going to fight, and then how best to defeat them and adapt their tactics accordingly. And the players would have to work their way through. No matter where they start, it doesn't matter, because they don't know which creatures would be able to rebuild the portal or anything like that. So basically, they would all have to be destroyed. So you can imagine there'd probably be very little role play in something like this. Although it's quite possible that the Cthulhu cultists might try and talk the heroes into giving up and understanding the fruitlessness of their quest. And so just give yourself over to the dark side of Cthulhu, as it were. But if the characters don't roll over and do that, which is highly unlikely, then combat would indeed ensue. So this is a sort of a Cthulhu in space Spelljammer type adventure. As far as what's being used here, the vast majority of the floating stuff is just XPS foam that's been basically painted a dark gray type color. These floating rocks here are from Dwarven Forge, and I can't remember which Kickstarter it's from, but they're retail now, so it doesn't matter. It's not, I don't think it's Dungeons of Doom. Boy, it's not. I can't remember which one it's from. So it might come to me later, but it's available retail now, so it doesn't matter which Kickstarter it is. And they are definitely from Dwarven Forge. Minis are from all over the place. Some of these guys here, these are actually old Underdark stalactites and stalagmites that I've got on some of these. And when I mean old, I mean this is back from like D&D 3rd edition or whatever, I believe is when those were actually produced. But I managed to get a couple of sets of them, so I put those on there to have the purplish, grayish type stalagmites for that. These columns here and stuff, I think I did like 28 millimeter sci-fi or something like that. I think just searches on Google and Etsy, and came up with a whole bunch of a variety of different, basically little obelisks and stuff. And the same thing with the 28 millimeter sci-fi. Gave me all kind of 28 millimeter Cthulhu, 28 millimeter horror. You know, I did all that kind of stuff. Just cast a really wide net. Didn't get it from any one particular source. There may be a common printing source or something. I don't know, but I just got them from individual places off eBay and Etsy, and just kind of assembled it as the whole, so to speak. And then underneath it, the vast majority of these right here, these clear plastic risers, are Tinker Tactics Combateers base set. That is probably, forgive me, the worst name ever because it's such a mouthful that it's hard to remember. But Tinkered Tactics Combateers base set. You know, because clear plastic elevated risers was too difficult. And then the other ones that we have here are similar idea, but these are called ship risers, and it's from Axe and Shield. Axe and Shield. And I had several of those to hold up some of the larger stuff, and then I used the Tinker Tactics one for holding up some of the smaller islands. And then the battle mat itself, I want to say it's an Astral mat, and I believe I got that from Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games. It's a vinyl mat, which means, as you can see right here, when I go to certain, you can see the glare from my light overhead from the ceiling, and that's the downside to vinyl, is you get that reflection. See how it goes away depending on the angle that I'm looking at. And over time, if your players are sitting there for 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on their positioning and whatnot, that glare can get to them. So that's something to bear in mind. Neoprene mouse mat style battle mats are more expensive, and they roll up fatter, unfortunately, for storage, but they don't have that glare, which means when you're actually using them, the neoprene mats tend to give a better gameplay experience. But at the time that I got this one, I didn't see any neoprene mats that had this astral plane type look to it. There may be some now. But that's it. That's, oh, I'm sorry. And then there's this one right here, which is also from the same Dwarven Forge, that blinking LED. That's from the same Dwarven Forge set as I got these floating rock guys from. And for whatever reason, it's just escaping me. But like I said, it's all retail now, so you can go to dwarvenforge.com, hit their shop button, and then just start going through all the different sets. And eventually, I'm sure you'll find it. So these scary flying guys, I don't even remember what they're from. I honestly don't know where I got them from. I don't think they're Whiz Kids. I don't think so. Maybe they are. Here we go. What's this? Vescavor Queen. Oop, almost fell over. Vescavor Queen, whatever that is. VESCAVOR Queen. 34 or 55. Whoever produces that, there it is. So, and I'm sorry, this is Whiz Kids here. They're, can't remember what it's called, but it's one of their Spelljammer ships, like a flying coach or something like that. Coach. And that's available retail now. Just look for like Spelljammer or anything like that from Whiz Kids, and I'm sure it'll pop right up. You can get that on Amazon.com, and they'll show up. So that's about it. That shows everything. So thank you for checking us out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. And I will see you next adventure. Take care. Bye.